This is Awkward Occurrence for Awkward Entertainment. Alright, before I get into this video, I want to touch on my last video. It was about Summer Wells, where she abducted or sold. Now, in that video, I stated Donald Wells mentioned his daughter could have been taken by drug dealers. Now, I don't understand how his daughter could have been taken by drug dealers when the Wells family, they don't live in the city. They live in somewhat a secluded area, surrounded by lands, grass, far as the eye can see. The neighbors are spread far apart. So I don't understand how there could be any big-time drug dealers in that area. Don't understand that. Also, Donald Wells is related to Sheriff Lawson. They're cousins. So if he's related to the sheriff, I'm pretty sure he's related to a lot more people on that street in that area. Someone did a genealogy video tracing the families or the heritage of that area, and it seems like a lot of people married into other families in order to build wealth. That will explain how Mr. Wells is related to Mr. Lawson. But do I believe Summer Wells was abducted by drug dealers? Not unless Donald Wells was working with those drug dealers and he's related to those drug dealers, and those drug dealers are around the same age he is, and they grow drugs on their property out there somewhere. Not unless, in that case, yes. But I don't believe drug dealers came, took his daughter, went up the hill, through the dog trail, lured her away from the house. This doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. And again, everyone over there is related. It's kind of like the Beverly Hillbillies, or hillbillies, inbreds, a lot of inbreds. Because again, they had to marry other families in the area in order to build wealth. So you're going to find a lot of cousins in that area. Let's continue this video. The dogs, do they know anything? So I saw this from another creator this morning, this thumbnail. Do the dogs know anything? And I thought this was funny. I just thought it was funny. If dogs could talk, what would they say? What would Summer Wells' dogs say if they could talk? I thought of this man, comedian Paul Mooney. He did a joke about O.J. Simpson, and if O.J. Simpson's dog could talk, what would his dog say? So I'm going to play this video, and I will commentate afterwards.
That O.J. trial was deep, wasn't it? And white folks can talk to animals. They wore that dog out. It was a Akita, a Japanese dog. Did they wear that dog out? Come on, we'll give you a show like last year. A Gentle Ben, oh, Yellow. Come on. You saw O.J. do it. Say, O.J. did it. Come on, dog. The dog tried. Oh.
Say, Donald Wells did it. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Say, Donald Wells sold his daughter. Or say, I saw Robin Lane on a property. She lured Summer Wells away with treats into her car. A red Toyota Tacoma. If dogs could talk. Let's continue this video.
Oh, that's it, dog. Come on, you're almost there. Oh. Yes, you're almost there. Come on, dog. You can do it. O.J., say it. It was a Japanese Akita. Couldn't pronounce the J. Couldn't pronounce that goddamn J. If it would have been an English terrier, we'd have been in trouble. Yes, it was O.J. Simpson. The nigger that you call the juice. He was very violent. There was blood everywhere. I ran like a bunny rabbit. I kept screaming, God God save the Queen.
I don't.
All right, all right. I just thought it was very funny. It reminded me of comedian Paul Mooney when he talked about OJ, Nicole Simpson, how they had a Japanese Akita, and if did they put the dog on the stand? I don't know. I know throughout history, justice systems have used dogs as witnesses. I don't understand how. You will find some stories about that on Google. But dogs can't talk. Dogs can't speak English. Dogs can't take lie detector tests. Dogs can't say what they seen. Now here's a dog connected to a lie detector test. It's very funny. Again, when I saw this thumbnail from the creator, the dogs, do they know? It just made me laugh. Let's bring up another suspect. Alright, so if dogs could talk and take lie detector tests, would this dog say he saw this man, David Dotson, on a property that day, coming up the dog trail through, Ben Hill Road, and he somehow lured Summer Wells away? Like the parents, Candace or her mother, they didn't hear anyone coming up that hill, creeping around the house. They didn't hear anything. Like the boys didn't hear anything downstairs in the basement. So is it David Dotson? The word is David Dotson is getting married. He met a woman 6 months ago. He proposed to her. He moved away from the church. He's no longer associated with that SDA Seventh-day Adventist church. Okay, do I suspect David Dotson? No. Just because Robin Lane was trying to get Summer to wave at him in church, she didn't want to wave at him, doesn't make him a suspect. Robin Lane stated, so goes the word, Robin Lane stated David Dotson was already near the house the day Summer went missing. Why would she state David Dotson was already near the house if David Dotson had anything to do with Summer's disappearance? It doesn't make sense. Well, I think he was called up there by Candus Bly, and they wouldn't let him in yet, and they wouldn't let Robin Lane in yet, so they stood outside the property for a while. But he was called up there. He got there before Robin. That's what Robin meant. He got there before me. Not he was there because he took Summer or whatsoever. I believe Mr. Dotson also states he never been to that property before, except the day Summer went missing when he was called up to the house. He also took the boys on a golfing trip after Summer went missing just to get them out the house and away from negativity. So that's Mr. David Dotson and his flutes. He's now engaged and away from SDA church. I will get away from that church too. Just because all the heat coming on a church. It's not a lot of heat coming on a church. Just a few people on social media. Just one or two people. That's about it. It's not much heat. Nobody's life is being ruined. Nobody's life in that church is being ruined because someone suspects they're involved in this little girl's disappearance, or someone suspects they're a cult because of what they believe. So the dog, let's ask the dog, did you see David Dotson on the Wells property the day Summer went missing? Did you see Summer get into a car with David Dotson? So we're asking the dog, and a lot of test says, well, the dog says no, and a lot of test says the dog is telling the truth. All right. Let's get to Miss Smiling Robin Lane. So this was during an interview, during a prayer vigil. Robin Lane was out there talking, handing out flyers. She did in one moment, she started smiling and laughing. I guess she's a joyous person, a very joyous person. even when her favorite child is missing. Now, I don't get why people speculate she has something to do with Summer Wells' disappearance. What could she... Why would she want Summer Wells? She already has a daughter, but why would she want Summer Wells? Only reason I can think of is to protect Summer Wells. That's it. Not because she's in a cult. Not because she wants to sell Summer to some perverts, so the perverts can sell Summer to other perverts. But I don't get why. I don't get why the one or two creators are so hard pressed on pointing fingers at Robin Lane. And she had a red truck, but of course that wasn't the truck involved in this show. That wasn't the truck involved in this script. Another truck came out yesterday. It was a 1980s red Toyota Tacoma. A young man was standing in front of the truck. The young man looked to be, in my opinion, Hispanic. I don't know what he is. He didn't look like he was from Tennessee. Now, go back to my last video. I'll talk a little more about the red truck. So, we're going to ask the dog. Mr. Dog, hooked up to lie detector test. Mr. Dog, did you see Robin Lane on Ben Hill Road climbing up that hill through the dog trail? Did you see Robin Lane on Ben Hill Road? Did she come down the dog trail with Summer Wells? The dog says no. The lie detector test says the dog was telling the truth. The dog was telling the truth. The dogs did not see Robin Lane on that property before Summer was taken, or after Summer was taken. Of course, the dogs didn't see, but let's continue. But just because Robin Lane is in a church that preaches somewhat an incorrect doctrine of the Bible, or has different beliefs, such as vegetarian, she's involved in this girl's disappearance. Or just because she was close to Summer, she's involved in Summer's disappearance. It's been over 5 months. You'd think she would come out and say, I have Summer, I took Summer because I wanted to keep her safe. And then she'll hand Summer over to authorities, and authorities will put Summer into social service care, CPS care. Doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure police have searched Robin Lane's house and property. There's no girl there. There's nothing there. There's nothing on Robin's phone to say she took Summer Wells. Let's continue. So the dog says no to Robin Lane. Billy Bob. Now, Billy Bob is a character mentioned by Hunter in his interview with Chris Madonna. Hunter messed up his script, messed up his wording. When he said Billy Bob would be on the property, Billy Bob would be on the Wells property trying to touch kids. Hunter had to backtrack and said Billy Bob was only on the property because he had the hots for Grandma Candus, or Grandis. It's her nickname, Miss Grandis, the grandmother. So, was Hunter lying when he said the only reason Billy Bob was on the property is to sweep Grandma Grandis off her feet? I'm paraphrasing. Or was Hunter telling the truth when he said this Billy Bob character will always be on the property and he will always try to touch the kids? So did this guy who had a crush on Grandma come up Ben Hill Road, come up that hill, saw Summer, and took Summer? We're going to ask the dog. We're going to ask the dog. That makes more sense. It makes more sense that it would be Billy Bob based on Hunter's testimony. But Hunter changed his testimony during the interview and said, well, no, Billy Bob wasn't up there trying to touch kids. He was up there for the grandma. That makes more sense. I mean, Billy Bob would be suspect number one, you would think. You would think. But Hunter changed his testimony. Let's ask the dog. Dog, is Billy Bob the person who took Summer Wells? Was he on the property that day? And the dog says no. And the lie detector test says the dog is telling the truth. Why is the dog telling the truth? Because Hunter changed his testimony from Billy Bob being a perv to Billy Bob liking Summer Wells' grandmother. So let's see. Who do we want to get his face to? Someone in a church. I know there's a guy in a church. Is he black? There was a guy in a church who had a record for child endangerment. But that guy has never been to the property. Like, this guy is a stranger. You guys know who I'm talking about. I don't have his picture. But he has a criminal history of child endangerment. But he's never been to the property once again. So I really can't ask the dog if it was this guy. Like, no. We're just going to rule him out. If you don't know who I'm talking about, go look back in older videos on YouTube. You'll see a black guy sitting down. Someone puts the caption, charged with child endangerment. All right, last but not least, the parents. One more. Now, we can say this face is a local drug dealer. Oh my gosh. Mr. Dog, did you see any type of strangers you've never seen before on that property? And did they take Summer Wells? The dog says no. The lie detector test says the dog is telling the truth. Maybe the dog says yes, and Donald Wells is correct. Some type of drug dealers came on the property and took her. That still doesn't make sense to me, dog. This still doesn't make sense to me. They don't live in a city. They live in a small, I would say, town. A small, secluded area where everybody knows everybody. And a lot of those neighbors are related to each other. I don't think drug dealers who are related to Donald Wells would come take his daughter, huh? It's possible, but come on. Sheriff Lawson says it's unfounded that there's big-time drug activity in that area. So, all right. What do I want to say about this one? Mr. Dog, did the Wells sell their daughter to sex traffickers? Did you see Summer Wells get into a car with a stranger? And did you see Candus Wells be handed a large sum of money? If the dog says yes, and that's the truth, how do we connect that? How do we connect that as the truth? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Mr. Dog, was Summer Wells sold by her parents? The dog says yes. The lie detector test says inconclusive. Came back inconclusive. So we don't know. It's the point I'm trying to get to. But once again, I thought this was funny. The dogs, do they know anything? If dogs can speak, do they know anything? What could the dog have seen? What could a dog have seen? Now, I should have wrote this show out a little more, but I'm freestyling here. I don't like writing scripts. For shows. I just get on and I start broadcasting. All right, so what do the dogs know? I'm going to rule out Robin Lane because there's nothing to connect her to someone being missing. She doesn't seem like a person who's going to sell Summer or kidnap Summer to keep her away from her parents. It's been way too long. It's been 5 months. She would have came out and said, I have Summer. Here she is. Take her to CPS. I just don't buy this story about the church being a cult. Uh, there's just nothing. Nobody has given a good reason why Robin Lane will go up on that hill and take Summer. Not a good reason. Police, again, police have probably searched Robin Lane's property. Nothing. Found nothing. David Dawson, they found nothing on David Dawson. David Dawson moved away. David Dawson has never been to the property except the day he was called up there and given the location when someone went missing. Robin Lane states David was there before she got there, but that doesn't mean David Dawson did anything. I don't believe anyone in the church is involved. So we're going to cross out Robin Lane and David Dawson. That's a rabbit hole. That's nothing. That these two characters, Robin Lane and David Dawson, these two characters are only around so mainstream media can say later on social media pointed the fingers at the wrong people. Social media is hampering the case. Social media doesn't hamper any cases. Don't ever believe that narrative. Just because people speculate online, don't ever believe that narrative. Because you have always had individuals call into the police in the 70s and 80s, and they gave their own speculation. So don't buy that narrative that we're hampering cases. Police have a job to do. Their job is not to watch what people say online. Even though it helps their job, it helps them come up with theories themselves. It helps them come up with leads themselves. But in no way does social media hamper cases. Billy Bob. I suspect Billy Bob more than I do anybody else, just because of Hunter. Just because of Hunter's testimony. Now, Hunter had to change his testimony because he can't remember scripts. Hunter can't remember scripts. That's just it. He can't remember what to say. Hunter had to have help to remember what to say during his interview. He had to have a lot of assistance. He had assistance from the person interviewing him. He had assistance from his mom. All right, let's move on. All right. All right. So let's take away this. That leaves a drug dealer like Donald Wells says. I don't believe that. That may come to be the only truth in this case. That a drug dealer came up there and took their daughter. So original. Anyway. That leaves Donald Wells, his wife, Billy Bob, and a drug dealer. Okay. I'm getting ready to end this out because I can't think of anything else to say. I really can't. Do we want to scratch off Billy Bob? We're going to scratch off Billy Bob, the person who likes the grandma, just because Hunter misspoke. So, Billy Bob is not a suspect. All right. That leaves the parents and the drug dealer Donald Wells spoke of. All right. Did the parents sell their daughter? I do not know. Did a drug dealer come on that property? I do not know. But these are your only three witnesses in this case. The parents or a drug dealer. The parents or a drug dealer. Did the parents sell their daughter or a drug dealer abducting her? Did someone else have an accident on the property? Candace is trying to cover it up, or a drug dealer. So abduction, drug dealer, sold her, drug dealer. No, no, and no. Well, I'm getting ready to end this out. So the house is being renovated. I believe the church is paying for that. They bought a new car. I believe Donald Wells saved up his money from his job to buy that new car. I just don't believe she was sold into sex trafficking by her parents. I just don't think that. So one or two. This is one big old hoax by the parents. Since the parents are used to playing games with people, this is one big old hoax by the parents. They're hiding Summer so they can collect reward money. Or number two, a stranger actually did come on the property and take Summer. No one from the church is involved. That is it. The only theories I'm going with right now is it's a hoax. The parents are hiding their daughter for the reward money. Or number two, a stranger somehow actually did come up on a hill and take their daughter. I have more reason to believe it's a hoax. The parents are hiding their daughter than I have to believe in there was a stranger. So I have more reasons to believe it's a hoax than that a stranger came up on the property. All right. Anything else I want to add to this before I get out of here? There's nothing else to add to this. I would do my SDA church coke video and Robin Lane Psychic Donna reaction video whenever we meet a reserve. There's a reserve for that video. Let me find it. Let me find it. So, why you guys, who's ever still here? So Robin Lane did a video response to Psychic Donna wanted to do an interview with her. I'm going to do a reaction to that, and I'm going to do a reaction to the speculation that the church is a cult. Now that video has a $20 reserve. If you are interested in seeing my perspective on the church cult theory and my perspective or my commentary on Robin Lane's message to Donna the Psychic, Cash App Raven, RAYVEN 313, and I will do that video. Again, there's a $20 reserve on that video, so you can send 5, another person can send 5, or you can just send 20, and I will complete that video. Other than that, this has been Awkward Occurrence with Awkward Entertainment, and I will see you in the next video.